process of building the storage area for the water containers. We have a U-shaped piece of 2x4 that Sherry is sanding and getting ready to prime here in just a minute. That will be attached to, we've got a 2x4 sideways on the other side of the wall here. I'll go in and show you that in a second. That piece will be, that Sherry's working on, will be pocket hole screwed to the 2x4 in the front and also down into the floor, and that's going to hold these in place as we drive down the road. Eventually there'll be a wall built up here for the back, and depending on how high we need to go up for our quick releases and our vents, there'll be a shelf also built above that. The wall probably will go all the way to the underside of the bed frame, but depends how high we need to leave a gap, easy access for the containers. There'll be a shelf at some point somewhere, but let me go around and I'll show you what it looks like from the inside. So here's the 2x4 bracing. It goes all the way across behind the lower cabinet walls, and this will keep everything from sliding forward. So yeah, just a process of building a box to hold all of this in place as we drive down the road so it doesn't bobble and bounce all around. Yeah, we're leaving enough space so that we can remove and then reinsert one without issue, and then the rest will just be slid sideways and in or out, however we're doing it. But that's the process today.
All right, we are going to install
Our sink.
our sink, which we haven't seen yet.
Nope, it's pretty. It's very pretty.
Here it is.
But first of all, we're back from our 4th of July vacation. We took a few days off, hung out with Mickey and Ron and Sandy up at the lake. Had a good time, just relaxed.
Dogs got to swim in the lake.
Yep, got caught up on some rest and things, and in the meantime, we couldn't have done a lot anyway because we were ordering parts that had to come that came while we were gone, like the sink. So we have our plumbing water supply system figured out and our drain system figured out, and sink and faucet install is going to happen today, although nothing will be connected yet. So I'm going to drill a hole in a couple corners here and get the jigsaw and start cutting away, and we'll see what happens. That's through there. Might as well drill out a couple. Might as well drill them all out. Starting and stopping point all around.
All right, jigsaw
Here
time.
Oh, we're gonna make a mess in here.
We are gonna make a mess in here.
And we're cooking yogurt as we speak.
Under the towel.
Here's the Instant Pot.
It's under the towel in a milk crate.
Let's see, I'll have you, I'll have you hold this from underneath so it doesn't drop.
What are you doing, Bailey?
Well, we turn the car on with the AC because Bailey's hot.
It's hot in here.
It is. It's 83 degrees outside, so we got the AC blowing on the dog. We got our hole cut out, and look, there's our sink. There's our sink. It fits. That's perfect. We're gonna measure, make sure we're in here square, but I think we're good. Do we have a little playroom? I didn't test the playroom. Does it kind of wiggle? It is. Oh yeah, well, plenty of playroom.
Oh, yeah, lots.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
perfect. Okay, good. Good.
Square it up and
We'll
make
screw it
our
up.
holes.
Yep, figure it out, trace our holes there, drill the holes for the faucet, and then we put the faucet in.
You could just about take a bath in here.
This is nice. It's 16 this way by 14 this way, and it's 9 inches deep, and it's
It's quiet.
Yeah, it's a good quality sink. What's the brand? I don't know. Oh, it's right here.
Torva.
It's kind of an off-brand that we found on Amazon, but it had decent reviews.
It's got round corners so you can clean.
Yep.
And it's got bevels here, so hopefully the water
will drain.
But we're in a van, so I don't know if that matters.
Yeah, it's true.
Whatever.
So yeah, sink is in its place and it fits. We're just gonna square it up, mark these holes, cut these holes for the faucet and the soap dispenser, and go on to that next step. These are our hole saws / wood burning kit bits. Sometimes they're really sharp and sometimes they're really well used. I'm gonna go up from the underneath so I don't blow out the underneath. Oh, faucet hole. Is that a bad word?
Faucet hole?
Faucet hole.
Ooh.
Other side.
Oop. There she blows.
Alright. Okay. That somewhat resembles a sink. There it is. That is the sink and the faucet in place. You want to hold the dealie up there in place.
Mostly.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, we haven't installed it obviously, but that's what we look like.
I don't think we're putting the plate on it. I think we're gonna leave it.
We are gonna leave it just single like that. This will come down and spray for the sink.
Soap dispenser.
That'll look real nice. That'll fit in there nice. Perfect. Well, you can't see much. We've got a pretty almost full 7-gallon water container in there for weight. They recommend putting, filling your sink with water when you're done installing it to add weight to adhere the caulking, really press down on it. But we don't have running water, so there's no way for us to fill our sink. So we put it in a jug. Put it in a jug. So there it is. Sink is installed.
We've got the clear caulking that isn't clear yet. It's still white.
Yep, we get the caulking all around. Underneath the sink, we've got the drain is right here, ready to go. I have the weight tucked away in there until we figure out how to get the weight onto this without having it swing around and whack everything as we drive. Just waiting to get the plumbing figured out, the water lines figured out. Good news is our the last piece of our water system came in today, so we can get working on that here pretty quick. So sink is installed. That looks really good. I'm happy we went with the big deep sink. Really happy we did.
I think so.
Yep, yeah. It looks good. So we're putting together our parts for the quick disconnect for our water system here. And this doesn't go in here all that well, which makes the threads of this not grab enough. There's barely enough on there so that it doesn't grab enough. So, whoops. So what I've done is I've taken my step bit on my drill and I've drilled out the top of this, which allows this to set in there a lot better than it did beforehand, which allows this to thread on here and grab better. Did that kind of come out all right? See, I can screw this down a lot tighter.
An elbow and a coupling?
An elbow, so I've got, yeah, all kinds of little plumbing bits in here, which gets me to come out of the top of the water, the fresh water container at a 90-degree angle into my quick release, which will allow me to just change from container to container as I need to. So all 4 lids will have this assembly. This hose will be attached to the pump, which will just go from container to container as needed. So I've got 3 more of these to drill out to make that happen. Let's see. Give this a little squeeze on here just to hold it. I suppose I could also just keep it on container, but then I'd have plastic bits in the container. It doesn't take much. Let's see what else I did here. Feels pretty good. But it still could go in a little more, I think. See how that threads. The thread's pretty good. I'll clean that out a little bit more, but that's basically what we're doing. So drilling, just reaming out a little bit on 4 of these lids for our water containers to get that to seat in there nice and tight. And then we'll have a salt connection for our water.
Chris, what are you doing in the garage?
Well, we're working on getting our water pump installed today. This is the setup here. So you've got your water filter, this little strainer. So when water comes in, it filters out if there's any debris in there. It'll filter out the particles. It'll go through the pump, go through the accumulator, and then it'll go to our sink. So this is all going to be mounted on, I don't know if Sherry can hold the camera up, on this board right here, just like that. We are going to finish putting some stain on this, or I guess it's just a polyurethane like this, just kind of a varnish on that. And this board is going to be held in place. Can you see the distance between, we get a little gap there? These bolts will come in through the other side. This is just temporary so we can kind of eyeball this. These bolts will come in through the other side, but on the back side of this board, we've got some rubber grommets here. Rubber grommet. So that will be taking up the gap between the 2 boards to help with the vibration of the pump so that it doesn't really vibrate our wall. The pump has rubber feet on it anyway, so that helps with vibration. But this is just an extra measure because we're adding an extra board on here. So yeah, so this will come through this wall here, through the hole, and then there'll be a rubber grommet, and then there'll be a nut on this end to hold this on with all the bits mounted to it.
Cool.
That's what we're working on today. And I'm going to paint this black. We decided we want this black in our garage. Hi! Plumbing update. Yay! Here's our board that Sherry put some polyurethane on so it looks all pretty like everything else does in our garage. There's our back wall of our garage, painted black. That's where this board is going to mount to. And we're mounting the pump and the accumulating tank here on the board. We went through the back with some what do you call them? Carriage bolts? No, they're not carriage bolts. They're actually some kind of screw. It has a really truss screw, flat head here. Because behind, when I mount this board, like I mentioned before, to the wall there, there's a bushing in between, a rubber bushing to get the vibration, kind of cancel out some of that vibration. The foot plate here of the pump is a rubberized foot. It also will take up some of that vibration. And there's no vibration here on the accumulator tank, but it also has rubber feet. So,
which is a kind of an interesting mount on this.
I know, I don't know why
they don't put a little cradle in there so it mounts square.
I don't know why, but anyway,
we're gonna go with it.
So we're mounting through the back. We're taking this whole thing and we're going through the back with our bolts. Oop, I need to put a washer on that. So we're going through the back, through the hole that I drilled, and through the dealie there.
So this is our plan.
Yep,
and if it doesn't work, you won't see any of this.
No. And then on the top of this goes a washer and then a nut. And this will all get Loctited down and secured. Once we're done, we're just test fitting everything.
Yep.
Test fitting everything in place. So that's what we're doing right now. Yay, plumbing. Getting that in there. That's a little off. There we go. Kind of like our lives.
Kind of like our lives.
Oh, did I put a washer on there? I didn't put a washer on there. Yeah, I gotta push that out and put a washer on there. Come on. Oh, everything is just so, because of the angle, it's just a really tight fit.
Yeah, that's a weird, it's a weird setup.
Washer. And find the hole. And then find that deal, and that goes through like that.
Thusly.
And then another washer and another nut, like so. So here is our pump and accumulator board. We're all ready to go. inlet side here. Here, let's go this way. Inlet side here, we're gonna have our hose coming out. It's a barbed connection here. Our hose will come out here and it will be long enough to feed through all 4 of our blue containers. Suck through here, through the pump, through the accumulator, and into our shark bite fitting that I have put on here already, that will go into a T attached to the wall that will feed our sink and a stub out for our future shower.
Outside shower.
Outside shower. So there we go.
Okay.
Jeez, oh man. What time is it? It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We've made how many trips to the hardware store?
I've lost count.
A lot.
Possibly 4.
We've done other things though. We've purchased more connections for our blue water containers and our gray water jug.
So we don't need this big pile of stuff that's over here.
Oh, or the pile of stuff that's in here.
Cha-ching.
I think we planned and purchased for stuff before we decided we weren't going to do a hot water heater. I think so. That's what it was. And it's plumbing. You always get extra of everything. What the heck? Absolutely. But all right, that's it. So this is mounted on the board. We're ready to put the board on the wall.
See what we've done.
And say a prayer.
All right, plumbing mode.
Good morning. We are under sink plumbing. We found this guy here. So the shark bite tool, or the shark bite piece, actually has the 3/8 compression fitting on here. So
2 water lines, or
for the water lines. So I don't need a T on here. So I have 1 part. So I'm going to put a 90-degree turn coming out of the cabinet here to come straight down into the shark bite here, where our water lines will feed in. I don't know if that's coming out. It's dark under the cabinet, but this part of the plumbing, and then we'll go back to the rear end of the van and connect it to the T that is there that goes into the pump. And then our water system is hooked up. From there we go to the electrical part of it. We've got to get power to the pump. And then once that is done, we can test everything and see what we got.
So for right now, we're going to be putting in a 90, drop it down.
90.
The 2 supply lines are going to go onto that.
And this is a shut off.
It's a shut off. It's an awesome thing.
Yep, it's a great thing.
So all in one.
Happy with it. Using the flashlight on my phone here, it's a little dark inside there, but there's the final connections. So we've got the 90 coming in off the top there, coming down to another 90 coming out to our shut-off valve, and we connect our water lines, hot and cold, to 1, because we don't have a hot water heater, so we don't need the hot, but we have to connect it because otherwise we'll have a big ugly leak. So water line's connected, and it goes up through the cabinet here, which goes through this cabinet here, which is right now the toilet cabinet, which will eventually have a drawer above it, and it leads through here into the garage. Let me crawl through. It leads in here to the garage, comes right in here to this T, stub out for future outdoor shower, and then down into our pump assembly here. Pump, accumulator, blah, blah, blah. I'm working on wiring now. I'm going to get the pump wired up. As soon as the pump is wired up, we can connect our water supply line and give everything a test and see if it works. Oh, you're going to film?
Are you scared, Chris?
I'm scared.
We're going to do a test run.
Oh, this is full-on test run. We haven't done anything yet. I just stuck the fuse in the fuse block down there.
We just wired up the switch.
Yeah, it's all just kind of dangling here, just in a mess, but we're just here.
Want to see if this moves the water.
And if it does, we want to make sure there's no leaks. So Sherry's up there with the tank, getting ready to put the faucet into an empty tank. I'm down here with a water jug with a hose in it. So we're mixing water and electricity.
What could go wrong?
Let's see what happens. I'm gonna flip the switch. Are you ready, Sherry? Hold on a second. Okay, let me turn this on. And, oh, okay, we're sucking water. It's gonna prime. Are we sucking water? Why are we not sucking water? There's no suction. Why is there no suction? All right, let me shut it off. Why is there no suction? We got the flow.
Well, it has to go into the accumulator first, right?
There's no suction at all. It's not sucking out of this at all.
Oh, okay.
So we've got the flow direction correct. The flow direction is that way.
It's on there.
Yeah. Well, let me troubleshoot. We figured out the problem. the shutoff valve under the sink was off, not allowing any water to flow through. So that was a quick, easy deal. Thank you, Sherry, for thinking of that. So we turned it on and it works. So I'm going to turn the switch on here. The pump is already primed, so it's not going to do anything. Go ahead, Sherry, turn on your end. There we go. Oh. So we have one leak in our system, and it's at this junction right here, where the accumulator meets this shark bite connection. It's dripping right there. Drip, right there. So I'm gonna get the pressure out of here. I'm gonna shut the pump off, get the pressure out of the line, and take that off and put some more tape on and reconnect it. And we'll see what happens. But other than that, we're pretty happy, huh?
Woohoo! Good job, Chris.
We got water in the van. Running water in the van. Love it.
Water.
And lighted switch to let us know that we've left our pump on.